Oh my God, your poor dad.
Welcome back to Your Poor Dad. You can't choose your sisters, but you can choose your podcast. So thank you for joining us and being the fourth brand sister.
And guess what?
Go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs. Our boyfriend's going to the Super Bowl.
Our best friend's boyfriend is going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. It's two types of feelings wrapped up in one. It's almost as if, like, Taylor is in our inner thoughts, you know? It's almost like we can all identify with some part of Taylor's songs, you know? Which is why we love her.
Yeah, everyone can identify with an era.
Yeah.
Yeah. A song,
Yeah.
at the very least. So it's like Taylor is the every girl, and she is dating. Yeah, every person. Yeah. I mean, we're all girls. Even the boys are girls. They just don't even know it.
Yeah.
But like, it feels as though like we are watching like our dreams, like our fantasy come alive.
Yeah.
Like, how cool is it? You are an international superstar having the year of your dreams. Mm-hmm. You're dating the hottest football player ever who just won a game that is taking him to the Super Bowl.
And it's just the way, I know this is gonna sound so silly, but the way she just like walked on the field
with his family.
She was just walking on the field with his family. And then when they got together, the embrace, the way that he was just like holding her, continuing to hold her, they just kept kissing. Everybody who says that it was just a PR stunt, it's not. This is love. This is true love.
They're obsessed with each other. They're in love. Even when like she kind of backs away so he can say hi to his family, he has his arm around her waist. He's like, no, you stay here with me.
And you're
my girl.
He's giving a speech and she's crying and I'm crying.
No, we're all crying. It feels as though our boyfriend is going to the Super Bowl and our best friend's boyfriend is going to the Super Bowl, all wrapped into one. It's like so many feelings.
I'm so happy for them. And gosh, it just makes me even happier. Did you see the TikTok that was posted today before the game about the guy wearing the Ravens jersey who he's mad. He takes out a 1989 Taylor album. Okay, he takes out and he smashes it, except it wasn't even Taylor's album.
What was it?
But that's what's so funny, because obviously this guy doesn't know that it's so easy to know Taylor Swift albums because they're colors, right? And so the 1989 albums are all like a certain color, and he pulls out a black. There is no black 1989 vinyl, right?
Oh.
So the work that he did ahead of time to put in a random vinyl in this 1989
because he's a Swiftie too,
because he would never,
because he didn't want to break his vinyl. That's his favorite record.
It was the funniest thing. He takes it out and smashes it, and everyone in the comments, they're like,
that's not 1989. Sorry.
They're like, this guy is the biggest Swiftie.
John trying to get something past the Swifties too, dumbass. Like, at least like spray paint it first, as if that's like not be noticed.
Yeah.
So I was telling the girls before we started recording, the smut girlies are having a field day because I feel like there is going to be a novel written just from this night. Just also cosplaying like the explosion that's going to happen at Killa Trav's house tonight.
And the thing that
it's gross.
I don't do it. It's the smut girlies.
Well, also what makes me really happy is Taylor had a really rough week. Okay, she had a really rough week, and what a way to end it, like on such a high.
I know this is where you lose me. Jade, I'm sorry.
You are telling me that your stalker kept coming to your house and kept getting arrested and released.
Okay,
and then the AI things, you're telling me that wouldn't be scary.
I'm sorry.
I forgot about the story. Okay, I'm sorry. Forget I said anything. No, that is kind of weird. But I think we shouldn't spend the whole episode talking about Taylor. But it just like really set this episode off with like a fiery explosion.
Yeah.
So go Chiefs, go Kansas City, Taylor Swift. I actually had one question that I wanted to ask you guys today because Taylor did bring. I know I said we shouldn't talk about Taylor, but this is the last thing I'll say about Taylor. Taylor did bring Kelly Teller to the game. And I wanted to ask you guys, if you were a friend of Taylor's, which one do you identify as? I already know who I am. So you guys do you want me to tell you mine while I'm...
Sure.
Okay, I am such a Kelly Teller. Like, I'm such a Kelly Teller. Like, I am like the one that no one really knows. I'm just like there, like, I'm like the personality hire of Taylor's friends. And I'm there, I'm gonna have a good time, but I will be talking shit and getting, lip syncing, and then I will get everyone into trouble. Like, that's so me.
Yeah.
Part of that I agree with you, but I just don't think you're Kelly.
Who do you think I am?
I don't know who you are yet. I don't know who we are either. That's
You're
something
Selena
that
Gomez.
No, you're Selena Gomez. You are literally.
I am not Selena Gomez. I'm the things that are annoying about. Well, I don't think Selena's annoying, but the things that some people might find annoying about Selena are like her not being able to keep her mouth shut, needing to like comment in on.
So you think I am?
Oh,
Selena
actually,
Gomez?
that's a really good.
No, but Selena Gomez is like a depressed girly, and I'm just like not.
Yeah. No, I don't think you're Selena Gomez. I was making a joke because everyone wants to be the Selena Gomez.
Oh, right. Sure. Okay, well, then who are you guys? You have to pick. That's the game.
There's so many friends.
I know, but if that's the game, just pick.
You can't. You
I
can't
know
just.
who I want to be.
Blake.
I would want to be like, I was going to say
Blake
Blake or
Lively.
Sophie Turner.
I could see you being a Sophie, maybe.
Yeah,
They're
you're
both
more
like
Sophie.
kind of like offline.
I
just
could see me
doing-
being a Blake.
God damn it.
I could see me being the Blake because like I'm the friend that she finds like so much peace and comfort with, and she like loves
You're
being around like
so
me and my
comforting.
family. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's our answers. So thanks for playing that game. You guys have to make every game so hard, don't you?
No, I don't.
She has so many friends.
And also, it's really annoying you said I wasn't the Kelly Teller, because I definitely am. How am I not the Kelly Teller?
Well, because I could never.
So why do you think I'm not Kelly Teller?
Because you could never be with Miles.
I'm not saying that's the part of me that is
Okay, so then
the Kelly Teller.
Okay, then I agree.
I'm just
There
saying-
are parts of you that are like.
it's not like I'm like I am exactly like Kelly Teller. I'm just saying out of all of Taylor's friends, I feel like I would be the Kelly Teller. Like not very like I'm like low key famous, like under the radar, like me on TikTok with my TikTok fame.
The interesting thing about it is parts of me feel like I could be so many different friends because I could see myself being the Brittany Mahomes because like my husband's gonna be an athlete, but
Okay.
not a problematic family. You know what I mean?
I don't think Brittany Mahomes is that problematic.
For some, I don't understand why, but a lot of, well, who doesn't like her? The NFL people who also don't like Taylor Swift. I don't know what it is. I think that there was a couple things that she did that people were like, she doesn't know the etiquette of the football games or something.
I think people are like just looking for reasons to not like
hate
Brittany
women.
Mahomes. Yes, exactly. They just fucking hate women. Because I was watching that quarterback show and somebody DM me and they're like, I hate Brittany Mahomes. I'm like, why? Like, she's just annoying. Okay, well, so are you literally DMing me.
And so am I.
And so am I. Look at us. We're all literally annoying. But if you watch her on the quarterback show, it made me like her so much more. Like
She's such a supportive wife.
she's a supportive wife. She's a girl's girl. You can tell. There's always like a ton of people around her. And she's a part owner in the women's soccer league or not league, fucking team, whatever it's called, in Kansas City. And the way she was like talking about like the teammates, like she's like a badass. I like Brittany Mahomes. Justice for Brittany Mahomes.
Hell yeah.
Not, who's no justice for?
Who?
Jackson Mahomes.
Yeah.
But that's all we need to say about that.
Okay, cool.
So I guess the last thing I'll say about Taylor for real this time is over under, or I don't know, betting terms. So do you think Taylor will be at the Super Bowl? Yes or no?
Yes.
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 Hell yeah.
So I guess we'll see in a couple weeks.
And I wonder what
Who's
she's going to wear.
performing the halftime show?
Usher.
Sure. Okay, that was the next thing.
Re-
Thank you for that segment.
Oh
Or
my
the
gosh,
segue.
And
Segue.
Reba is doing the national anthem.
Reba. Okay, so I would like us to discuss our favorite Super Bowl performances of all
01.
time. What?
2001.
Okay. Can you wait until I lead it in? So we are having Usher do the Super Bowl halftime show this year. And TBH, I was not really feeling it until I turned on Yeah on the way here. And it honestly like sent a jolt of pure joy into my soul. And I was like, you know what? I'm ready for Usher.
Okay.
I'm happy that you're ready. I'm not happy I don't think it's going to hit, but I don't think they've been hitting in recent years.
Rihanna was so good.
Rihanna was
Okay, I take that back.
literally
You're
one
right.
of my top 5 performances
You are right.
of all time.
You are right. When was that? How many years ago?
Last
Rihanna
year.
was last year.
Guys, where have I been?
Literally where. But I think like, okay, so Usher, I think for you guys is a little like older than it was for, because he was like coming up when I was growing up and listening to that kind of music. I think you guys are just like a hair too young for Usher, because like he had like his peak was like '04 to like '10.
His oh my god, that song was like our prom song. He has the bops, and he's been making music for so long.
Yeah.
It's just, I think what I like out of a halftime performance for the Super Bowl is the variety. Going into like the 2001, there really was something for everybody.
Yeah.
That was the Aerosmith, the Britney, the NSYNC, the Mary J. Blige, the Nelly. Was he there too or no?
Nelly was there.
So it's really so many. If you like rock, if you like pop, if you like R&B, like that,
Well,
I really like that, and they can all come together on one stage. Like that's entertainment.
There was a lot of surprise factors back in the day so if I feel like I'm like a scholar on this topic. So that was one of the first halftime shows that MTV produced.
Really?
Yes. So it was like, who's coming out? It was, I think Aerosmith was the headliner, and then all of those other people were like add-ons. So Aerosmith performed the whole time, and then they performed. That was like when Jaded was a big song.
So that would be like, if that was happening now,
It'd be like-
it would be like halftime show Aerosmith, and then the day of we wouldn't know that they were happening.
Knew that they had special guests coming up, but it was like we didn't know in what capacity, and it was going to be all Aerosmith. So that's all we knew. But just seeing Britney Spears walk out in that little tiny jersey with the socks on her like sleeves, it was just like beyond.
And we knew that her and Justin were dating at that point. So seeing them on the stage together added to it.
Swinging with the school and the feet flying up in the air, like, and then they were like all walking out like,
And they all, every single one of them, everyone up on that stage looked like they were having the best time of their life.
Yes. Also, you forget Mary J. Blige was.
I
at
said
that one.
Mary J. Blige.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh.
What I didn't know for sure about Nelly.
Well, and Nelly was wearing the half, like the jersey that was like half one team, half the other. I forget. Like, who even cares who was playing in the Super Bowl that year? But
And now who made that famous? Donna Kelsey.
Donna Kelsey was inspired by Nelly.
It all makes sense.
Yeah.
Because that was her favorite halftime performance too.
Exactly.
Probably. Wow.
So that was a great one. And then 2004.
was that?
That was
It's the
another star-studded year. It was Janet Jackson headlining, and Justin Timberlake came out, and that's when Justin just did his solo album, just disparaging Britney Spears, like literally riding on the coattails of their breakup. He just, used her to propel himself, as we all know. And then he used another woman to propel himself. And that's okay. So that year, Jessica Simpson came out, and she actually introduced the halftime show.
I don't remember that at all.
Because she didn't sing. She just said, "Hi, Houston. Are you ready for the halftime show?"
Oh, that's cool.
Peak Newlyweds. Like, she looked so hot. It was
Perfection.
just so her. And then I want to say, so it was Janet Jackson, and then there was like another rapper. And it was kind of like, okay. And then Kid Rock also performed. Yes, this was another MTV produced halftime show. Wow. Then Justin came out, and then, of course,
ruined everyone's lives.
We knew I'm Gonna Have You Naked by the end of the song exposes the titty that had a pierced nipple. And that just really that threw us into a tizzy. I've never seen a pierced nipple before. I didn't even know you could pierce nipples at that point. I was like a sophomore in high school.
Nelly was there too.
Oh, okay.
So it was Nelly and P. Diddy.
Oh yeah, Nelly and P. Diddy. And it was kind of like random. Janet was just so good, and Kid Rock was like low key so good.
And MTV must just like have Nelly always in their back pocket.
Yeah, they're like, who do we got? Nelly. But at that time, what was the biggest song in the whole world?
In 04?
Well, no, like in that era, like you could not. And also he had,
In the club?
Give me two.
Air Force Ones.
Grills. Like he just had into clubs 50 Cent.
Oh wait, who were we talking about? Nelly?
Yes.
Oh, honestly, in my brain I switched to 50 Cent.
So the interesting thing about that show is that YouTube became a thing after that because people were trying to Google their performance and there was no platform for us to like find videos. So then they invented YouTube based off of that.
Whoa.
So like low-key kind of thank you, Justin Timberlake, but also fuck you, Justin Timberlake.
Thank you, Janet Jackson.
Yeah.
And also, thank you for having all of that random knowledge because that is so interesting.
I'm telling you, I'm a scholar of... And so after that, so that was the last Super Bowl halftime show that MTV had produced. And then we went into the dark years where it was like U2, Coldplay, like Bruce Springsteen, like all great acts, but just like you can't go from having like these huge like compilations of artists to like U2 being like, I'm sorry, U2, like stop trying to make U2 happen. It's not going to happen.
Well, yeah, that's never going to be our cup of tea. But I think Rihanna was great. I think Lady Gaga was great as solo performers. And I think, didn't Beyonce do it too?
Beyonce did it twice.
She did it twice.
They kind of started easing us back into, I think the first one that they did that was like more risque again was Madonna, if I'm correct. And it was Madonna, MIA, and someone else. And that was fine.
I liked Eminem's.
Well, it wasn't just Eminem.
I know.
It was like all the rappers.
That's what I liked.
Yeah. That was a good one, but it honestly didn't hit as hard as like all the female. I'm sorry, like men are just never going to be as good at performers as women. Like
absolutely.
Like Katy Perry, she came out on that huge lion for Roar. That was fucking awesome.
That was so cool.
Like literally,
I forgot.
Entertain us. Lady Gaga.
Do you want me to tell you guys all of them from 2001 on?
No. Lady Gaga literally jumped
that's
from
my
the
favorite.
top. She started off so patriotic. She knew like she needed to get America.
Yeah.
She said, with liberty and justice for all. And then she spidered. And that was, Lady Gaga was really good. I think Rihanna is probably like my second favorite performance of all time.
Yeah, that was good.
Shania Twain, No Doubt, and Sting performed together.
Was that like in the 90s?
That was in 03.
Okay, that was the year between. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what Usher has to do. He is a great performer. I think he will be better than we are expecting.
I hope.
And I think he'll bring out some guests because, you know, that's what they do. when you're a man and you don't really have like the pizzazz. Oh, by the way, speaking of Justin Randall Timberlake, remember when he was the fucking Super Bowl halftime performer?
No.
When he was like doing his like little Justin and the Tennessee Kids
Tennessee
or whatever.
Kids.
Oh. Like literally loseriest perform. Everyone kept waiting for him to bring out NSYNC because when you're doing the Super Bowl halftime show, it's literally not about you.
Yeah.
It's about like
America.
The fucking like it's about America. It's about the show power.
Give
it's
the
about the
people what they want.
entertainment. And he was just who the fuck is this? Is this the neighbor I hate?
Sorry, my tummy
think so.
growled.
They leave at 5 o'clock in the morning every morning too.
Is this necessary for them to have this kind of
diesel
loud
truck.
car?
I don't know. I think it's a motorcycle.
That's annoying. I'll let it pass. That like literally sends a shiver of rage down my back.
I can tell you look like you were mad at me because they're outside. It's like you're looking
What
at
did I
do?
do?
Jesus.
Is that your neighbor?
So, anyways, Justin. So Beyonce came out during her Super Bowl halftime show. Remember the girls popped up?
Yes.
Kelly, have you in
Oh
this?
my gosh.
Michelle.
Yeah.
And then Michelle like kind of like, whoa. She like went too high.
I could watch videos of Michelle all day.
Well, they did like 2 songs together. And it was just so iconic. And it was just enough. It was exactly what we needed. Beyonce does not forget where she came from.
Yeah.
There would be no Beyonce without Destiny's Child.
And it did that bringing Destiny's Child took nothing away from Beyonce. It only added to Beyonce, like speaks to the type of person she is. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is Beyonce's gig. And she's like, this would be a fun time to get the girls back together.
And she calls them, every time she talks about Kelly and Michelle, she says, my sisters.
Yeah.
They are ride or dies. And we love that. Sweet. I know, it's so sweet. And then Justin,
he's like,
we all need NSYNC to redeem Justin Timberlake, because it really does. Like when I was watching Hot Ones, I was like, oh yeah, like these are my boys. Like these are the guys that I like, fell in love with when I was like a middle school girly. And then for him not to bring out NSYNC was just like very, very annoying.
Yeah, I
agree.
agree.
So Justin, this is why I don't like Justin, which leads me to my next thing I would like to. I'm like, oh my God. I told you. Okay.
What'd you tell him, Cor?
Have you guys seen this video of Jessica Biel talking about eating in the shower?
Yes.
So the thing is, I actually haven't seen the video myself. I've just heard everyone talking about it, because I didn't feel like I needed to go seek this video out for I heard what I heard.
And honestly, you did not need to see it, because nothing about it.
Does she explain what I would like to know? Does she describe the types of food she
yes, and that makes it so much worse.
It makes it worse.
Why? What is it?
Because cereal.
She said cereal,
but
yogurt,
the water's gonna, like,
popsicle.
You need 2 hands to eat all of those things.
I think that she's trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Well, because some people have like a shower beer.
Yeah, but a shower beer is so different than
honestly, like pizza, that would be like less gross. Like,
Baily, no food should go in the shower.
Well, we agree, but to Bailey's point, you have like one hand. Like you could, if you have your plate outside of your shower, you just like pick it up with one hand. Go like a cereal, and, like those are 2 hands.
Insane.
I don't care how busy you are. There is no need to eat in the shower.
Why are you having to? Why is this the multitasking we're doing?
Yeah, can't you like pencil in 10 minutes earlier to wake up so you could just fucking shower?
Make a smoothie if you have to eat it in the shower.
Yeah, like okay, if we had to eat in the shower, smoothie,
pizza.
Not pizza,
a granola bar.
Nothing.
It's so weird. There's like no reason we should have to choose what food we want to eat in the shower.
There's just
like it's so hard.
Don't eat in the shower. And she did say popsicle, and I was like, okay, I could see a popsicle maybe, but like again, there's no reason to eat in the shower.
Well, and especially a popsicle, that you're not getting any nutrients or actual food, like any substance from your popsicle. That's just a fun treat to cool you down in the summer. So, and you're taking a hot shower. Why are you? It just doesn't make sense.
It's this like this thing with
She's
Jessica
trying to be
Biel
relatable
and Justin Timberlake, where they try to be so quirky and goofy and funny, and it's like they're always just being so fucking annoying. Like it falls flat. And the most embarrassing part about that is that it went like viral, and it got like 1 million views, which like kind of nowadays is like not like so viral. Like you talking about getting cheated on got like over 10 million views. And like I literally made a video the other day that was like, is gua sha worth it? And it got 700,000 views. Like, and I'm me, like no one knows who I am. Like when you're a famous person with that recognizable of a face, like people stop on that video, and for it to go quote unquote viral and not like land, it just is like really embarrassing.
Well, I really hate to just like talk shit, but
You do? I love talking shit.
There is just her and him. She really took a back seat mainly for me because of her relationship with Justin, but I didn't love her to begin with. And every time, they're not very public, or they don't do a lot out in the open, but when they do, you can tell it's always because they're like, everyone's gonna get it, and no one ever does.
And they're always like, this is gonna be so funny, and it never is. But I have to say, she is gorgeous, because I went to her Instagram,
absolutely gorgeous,
and I was like, I gotta talk shit about this girl. Like I need, like, it was like bringing me to life. And then I was like, I truly am just in awe of how stunning she is. She's beautiful, but she's annoying. And 2 things can be true at the same time.
I mean, I guess at least she's not annoying and hideous.
Well, you could be, I mean, I don't know. But yeah, so that was just what I was thinking about.
Yeah, no, that's weird.
Yeah, so that was what. But I have more to say.
Okay,
Do you guys
well,
want me to keep going?
I mean, keep it going.
Okay, have you guys seen Pookie?
That's what I was gonna bring up.
Okay, Baily.
No idea what you're talking about.
I knew Baily was not going to know. So there's this couple on TikTok, Pookie and Jett. And so they do like these OOTDs, and they've been doing them for a while. And I've been seeing them for like a long time, like for at least like 6 months. And it just recently picked up steam. And he is just like so obsessed with her. And he's like, so she'll be like, okay, this is my outfit of the day. And he's like, Pookie is looking absolutely fire today. This is a sexy, perfect date night outfit.
I love the white on white. He said that the bow wasn't too much. No, I said the bow was a necessity.
But it's funny because like I think people started to kind of talk shit about Pookie and Jett, and then the internet, you know, the pendulum can swing either way. Either the pendulum is going to be anti-Pookie Jett, but luckily it overcorrected, and now we're all obsessed with Pookie and Jett. Mm-hmm. So thank God for Pookie and Jett.
And oh wait, I think you saw the Zach Bryan thing.
So now everyone's kind of using that sound because they're like, Pookie is looking absolutely fire tonight, and like people are like, you know, lip syncing the sounds or whatever. And Zach Bryan and Brianna Chicken Fry, they just did like a whole thing, like, you know, kind of what is the word? Not mocking it, but imitating it. Yeah. A parody.
Well,
Yes.
it's like you're just doing the voice, like what we do all the time of the voiceovers and making our own video.
And then Jett, he responded in like the perfect way. He was like, we love your music, man. Thank you for serving our country. Just like a precious angel.
Yeah, and he's like, thank you for using the sound. Like, thank you for doing our Pookie bit. Like, we love you. It was just, and then Zach commented on it too, and it was
What
just,
did he say?
He said something like, "You're the sweetest," or like, "You're a sweetheart," or something. Like,
Those are so
it was
sweet.
just adorable.
And by the way, Jett is like kind of extremely intelligent. Like he went to Penn for like business school.
Well, he went
like
to
Wharton business school.
He went to like 2 fancy good schools.
Yeah, we don't know them because we're not very fancy.
He went to
at school.
He went to one good one and then another good one. Mm-hmm. So he got extra knowledge from those colleges. Mm-hmm. And he makes a lot of money because he's so smart.
And it just seems like
they met at a bar.
Oh, they did?
I think like they met organically at a bar, or
IRL.
I say a bar. It could have been, you know, a restaurant or a winery. I don't. But they met in real life.
Oh, that's cool.
And he saw her, and she walked in, I guess, and he said, "That's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen."
I love that.
I know.
And you can just tell Pookie loves to shop. And Pookie, are they fucking back? Where did he go? He was gone for like less than 10 minutes. That's like an obnoxious car. Like I would hate being married to someone like that.
And it's like, do you really need, like, I don't know how that conversation could go to be like, how important is this to you at the expense of every other person in the entire world?
That is the interesting thing. I cannot stand when someone that I'm dating, honestly, if it was like one of you guys, were making an unnecessary like nuisance or scene about something like that. I'd be like, get it together.
That guy is the guy that when I parked on the side of the street during last year's freeze, he said, nope, gotta move. We have a truck coming. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you fucking own the street? No, this is public. Like you can't tell me to not park there.
You want to know what's interesting? I don't have this on actual authority, but here's my thought. Every once in a while, there's a sign that they put up on that side of the street,
and it looks like a city sign.
It looks like a city sign, and I think that at one point, because we did have city workers doing a lot of digging for like the Google Fiber, right? So there was some time where we had those signs and I think they
stole it,
took it.
And then now they
use it sometimes.
Are they the same one that said I couldn't park over there
Yes.
because of their trash cans or whatever?
Yeah.
No, why are they policing the fucking neighborhood like this? They're tyrants.
But let me tell you about their trash cans. Honestly, Tuesday mornings are my favorite because I can see perfectly through my office window. She is waiting. Especially if it's recycling and trash day, like she's fucking thrilled because that means we have the the garden, the garbage, and the recycle. If she's waiting out her window for one of them to come so she can run outside and grab that trash can to like pull it up into like where it goes. But the thing that's interesting, my favorite part, is only with my next door neighbor, she will move his trash cans. Okay, so it's like, I'm like, why is she touching his trash cans? And
Aren't they across the street?
yeah. So I'll see her walk across the street.
Why?
Because sometimes his trash cans, the garbage people will like pick it up from his house, empty, and it kind of like goes in front of ours, in front of like my house, which I don't give a shit.
It's none of her business.
Like, she will go. She doesn't put it like back where his is supposed to go. Like she'll just put it onto his side of the street, and I'm like, why does she care? But she doesn't ever touch my trash cans
because they are obnoxious.
It's so weird.
They're so fucking weird, and I would like hate living across the street from them because that guy, like, I seriously, he's on my list of people that like I will never forget what he did. Just like that movie theater girl.
Yeah. Jesus.
Very interesting.
So anyways, back to the lighter subject, Pookie and Jett. We love Pookie and Jett. You should get on TikTok and check them out.
Okay.
She has great OOTD. She's very like girly. She
Very
got
cute.
2 Birkins in
wow.
Paris. She just wanted 1 and she got 2. That means that Jett has a lot of money. So good for Pookie, honestly. And you can just tell he like loves supporting her. That's the thing that I like the most about.
Well, what I like the most is you can just tell that they genuinely love each other.
Yeah.
You know? And
Did
it's
you
not-
see the big arrangement that he just got her when she got back from her trip?
Wait, no.
It was huge. He was like, I go to this florist shop that's like 100 feet from my hair cutting place or something like that. And he's like, and I said, get me the biggest, most obnoxious arrangement. And I want it to be as big as Pookie. And I want it to say Pookie. And it literally says Pookie. And it's huge.
I want it to be as big as Pookie.
And she was like just so tickled by it. It was so cute.
I love that.
I know. Okay, another thing I want to talk about, not to like bring up, Sunday scaries, but it's work related.
Okay.
And I want your guys' opinion on this because this video went viral. And Paige probably knows because, she and I share a For You page. You don't.
This will be
Live on the internet
to me.
So, okay, this, the girl, Corporate Natalie. She's like a big YouTuber,
I know her.
TikToker. Yeah, you know her?
I know her.
Wow. That is
I'm shocked,
that's
actually.
a huge endorsement.
I'm actually like afraid that I might be wrong, but I'm going with it. I know
Okay.
her.
Well, I think she was on a podcast and they had somebody
With
write.
the corporate bro.
Yes. And they had someone write in and they were talking about how somebody just started a job and they had to do like an earlier meeting than normal. And the person said, oh, sorry, I can't make it because I have a workout class at 8 a.m. And she was like, I'm sorry, that's like a little late to be doing a workout class. Like, I don't fucking care. Like, go to work out at like 6, maybe 7. And everyone's like stitching it. Like, this is the problem with corporate America, blah, 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 blah. And it was just so like millennial / Gen Z coded. And I want to know your guys' thoughts. Did you see it?
Yes. So the other thing that to give you some context, the person who wrote in, it was like they start their workday at 9 a.m. and they don't get paid outside of their work hours. So their mindset is, why would I work earlier if I'm not going to get paid for that hour of work? And like, I totally agree with that part of it. But, what I wouldn't understand is if my job starts at 8 o'clock, I'm starting my day at 8 o'clock. Like, that is a very firm boundary. However, if my company is having this meeting, and the reason they had the meeting at that time, they have locations all over the world. So it's really hard. And I think was it once a year that they have, once a year, maybe once a quarter, something like that, where they try to get everyone in the company. So many different time zones on one call. It's going to be inconvenient for some people. That's just, they're trying to make it the least inconvenient for the most people. If my work did something like that, I would say, yeah, great. Even though it's an hour earlier, I would just honestly be like, great. So then I'm ending my day an hour earlier. It's not that deep. I think what gets me, if that was that's how I would approach the conversation. Great, I'll start an hour earlier and I'm gonna be done an hour earlier. it's the fact, like, it's being like, I can't because of my workout class.
Like, you don't need to say that.
Silly.
No, that seems like such unnecessary information to give to your leader. You just say, I'm sorry, like, if I'm going to be starting earlier.
Just making sure that I'm going to be able to either be paid for that hour or I get to leave an hour earlier.
Yeah, you don't need to be telling them you're going to a workout class. Like, it's an unnecessary information.
And I think it's really good to have like the hard boundaries and really not be like, think your whole life has to be dedicated to your job. But also, like, you can't be so married to your boundaries that you could, like, are inflexible for no reason.
Yeah.
You could work out after work and that person knew that. And it's just like, how dare you, like, ask me to do something different?
Because also, if your work was then going to say, no, like, we expect you to have this extra hour and we're not going to pay you and you still have to work this, then you're like, okay, well, actually work, that's kind of fucked. Like, what is this? But it's something about that reason. It makes
it was so,
I
like,
would feel like I would lose a lot of my argument.
Yeah.
If it came to it where they were like, we're not going to pay you for this, for your workout. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and I am like a workout girly. I'm married to my workout classes, and I just think that is like a very, like, you need the workout classes for your mental health. I totally get it, but I just would never cite that as a reason, because your company doesn't need to know your reason. Like, it's just the hard boundary. Like, they don't need to know anything about that.
Yeah.
Like, that just sounded like that's where they probably got lost in the argument. Like, if I was their employer, I'd be like, okay, nice try.
Yeah. Like, offering that information when that is a flexible thing that could change. It's not, I don't have childcare until this time when this person comes or whatever. That's like a lot more moving pieces.
Yeah.
And if this person is going to die on that hill, fine. It doesn't matter what you're doing outside of the work hours. It's none of their business. But then it's like, okay, now we know exactly what kind of person you are. You're like not an easy person to work with then.
Yeah. Because it's again, it's just so understandable to want to be fairly compensated for your time at work. 100%. So if I'm only getting paid for these number of hours, great. Then we're going to adjust the hours I'm working that day. But it's like adding that extra, it's like, don't do it.
Exactly.
No one needs to know.
Okay, well, the thing I thought we could like end it on in like our big discussion topic. Oh my God, another video of Taylor and Travis. I can't. Amazing. Like, they're literally holding each other walking on the field. Like, oh my God. She is so small next to big Killa Trav.
He's like on her ribs.
Yeah, and then she's like respectfully like giving him space as he like hugs his brother. It's so sweet. Oh my God. I'm just like so obsessed with them. Okay. So I was like thinking of some things about like, because I think like at the end of my like dating career before I met, and actually while I was dating Mr. Roberts, there were some things that I think made me a good dater, but I think it's because I was so bad at them before that I like learned from them.
Okay.
And I wanted to open up the discussion. What are some things that you did bad at dating that you learned from that made you good at dating? And I'll give you an example. Okay, so one of the things I was talking about was that I used to like build plans around a man that I didn't already have plans with. So like I would like keep space in my schedule because like I knew he would usually
cancel
text
plans
me.
just in case he called.
Yeah, that's huge.
Exactly. Yeah, and so I would do. It was just like one of those things when you're just so like in your head about somebody and you're like, okay, usually we hang out this day, but he hasn't made the formal plan, so I am going to cancel plans.
Yeah, but he's probably just
calls.
busy, so he's gonna call later than normal.
Yes. And it's like you make yourself so available to someone, and that is just not an attractive trait. Like, would you want to be with somebody who is just like always so available? And it was just like, okay, like, what do you have going on? It seems like your entire life is revolved around me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then I learned to like put plans in my schedule, and I would also not accept dates on the weekends unless I like had known them and dated them for a while. And I wouldn't accept a date that was like a same day date or like a late night text date, because it just seems like that didn't seem like it was coming from a good place.
Right.
Yeah.
So does that spark any more?
Wow, the holding the space is a really good one because that's
You've done that?
I can resonate with
Have
that.
you done that before?
I think I have done that before.
Do you remember that? Did you do that with the guy that you
dated for an entire
a year, but he never like actually wanted to commit to you?
But he said I love you.
Yeah,
but he was
so
never
That's
my
so
boyfriend.
standard. That's so standard.
So he's wild. I wonder where he is and what
I
he's doing.
unfollowed him. His stories were the most annoying stories I've ever seen.
He thinks
of
he's
anyone.
really funny.
He's not funny. I can tell you that. As someone who like knows a funny person, as a funny person, he's not funny.
But yeah, that would be like the biggest one that was very clear. I was thinking more what I did that I liked dating when I was like on Hinge and I was going on a lot of dates. I just always wore the same outfit. So I knew exactly what I was going to wear. I knew exactly where I was going to go. And then I was like, oh my God, this bartender is going to think that I have exactly one shirt. And that's why.
You were Steve Jobs of dating.
Yeah.
You have to have a Steve Jobs ghost uniform.
And it just like took the pressure off of what am I going to wear? Where are we going to go? What should happen? That made it very easy. I liked that.
Okay.
I think for me, I felt like I would match with somebody, we would chat a little bit, and because I wouldn't chat for that long, maybe a couple of days, like we match and we're leading up to the next weekend, so maybe like 3-4-ish days, something like that. If while we continue to talk and we're getting to know each other, if they were to say something where I'm like, oh, I really don't like that response, I would still...
You would engage with it.
I'd be like, oh, well, I'm still going to give them a chance because maybe this is just over text and maybe this is...
Yeah.
But my gut was telling me this is not your person or like a good person that you want to be around. You know what I mean? Like, because sometimes... Anyways, like what I learned is to trust my gut and not feel guilty if I want to change my mind. Yeah. Like I would say like I wouldn't change my mind the day of. Mm-hmm. But if something happens and all of a sudden I'm getting a bad feeling, I don't want to go on this date because of some big red flag. You shouldn't feel guilty and you shouldn't feel bad to be like, well, I already said yes, I would go, so I'm just gonna go. And then you like make yourself really uncomfortable for an entire night.
And you know what that also reminds me of is that like there were some guys on the apps where maybe you would like, because you see the same characters kind of all the time and it's kind of sad, but because then you're like, oh wait, I'm also being seen all the time. And then so I would like talk to somebody, they would never make plans, they would kind of just fall off the radar, then they'd come back, rematch with me, talk to me for a little bit, never make plans, come off the radar. And there was a time where I was just like I'm like, maybe he'll ask me out finally. And it's like just being able to cut it off and have like hard rules with yourself. Like, okay, I'm not going to go back and forth more than like a day without you asking me out because you really don't need to like get to know me on this app. The whole point of the app is to get off the app.
Yeah.
And there's no and I know some people like want to do a call or a FaceTime in real life.
Rather die.
No, that's a no for me. I will see you for coffee or one cocktail, and that's just the price of dating.
Yeah.
I'm not doing a phone call with like to me that's more awkward because then
so much more awkward.
Because I think that stop it.
Tell him to get on his beanbag.
Get on your beanbag. You're honestly making my life harder. Go. Get on your beanbag.
Don't yell at him like that. Tiger, get on your beanbag. Go. Say it like you love him.
I think people like to do the call first as a safety measure, but you're in public.
And you're in public. You guys have my location. I can send a picture. This is the person's name. This is the picture they sent me. Like,
and guess what? If you're not responding, I will show up to your date like I did.
And I think, sometimes guys and girls, sorry. Let me just be inclusive. I think that they build this like false sense of intimacy when you're just talking through the phone. And I feel like as creatures of using our cell phones for like intimacy, it's a really bad way to start a relationship.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't think like a simple phone call before a date is really like going to build this like false sense of intimacy, but it's just like, why not just test it out in person?
And I wouldn't give my cell phone number out, and I also wouldn't engage in talking. This is great, a good opener, and then whatever, and then where would you like to meet?
Yes.
Because obviously, if we match with each other, we are interested in meeting each other. I don't need to know how many sisters you have.
Yeah.
Before we
don't
there.
need, because think about it, if you meet someone at a bar and you have chemistry and you just like go back and forth a little bit and it's like, oh, I would like to see you again. Can I get your number or whatever? And then you actually go out and see if that's a real match. Like that's kind of normal. There was another thing I was going to say about what did you just say?
I said that I didn't like to talk to people before, and I wouldn't get my phone number out.
I forgot.
But I also think that the same exact conversation, personally for me, had in person. I could meet somebody in person, and it's the first date's always kind of basic and weird with like, what do you do for work? Do you have any siblings? Where did you grow up? Like all of the basic things, which technically you could ask that over the phone. But I don't know what this says about me, but I kind of only am half listening and like half care if I'm on the phone with this person that I don't know.
Yeah.
And whereas if they're telling me in person, oh, I have 2 sisters.
Can you stop like swallowing? Because I can hear it every time you do it.
You need to relax, Jade.
Okay, another thing is that I was talking to my friend who she actually has a dating podcast, and she was talking about her definition of a good date. And she was like, what's your definition of a good date? And I was like, oh, just somebody who I enjoyed being around. Like, just that was like a pleasant interaction. Mm-hmm. And she was like, that's really interesting because my definition of a date before this was if I saw a future with that person. And I was like, oh, well, then you're going to be very disappointed most of the time because like 99% of the people I met with on apps, I never wanted to see again.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, what would your guys like? What was your like thoughts about going into a date?
I was going on a lot of dates. It was just a volume thing. It was just like, let's see, which made it a lot easier when I didn't like the person.
Yeah.
If I could talk to them and it was nice, that would be a good date. I remember one date I went on, at the end of it, the guy was like, do you want to see me again? I was like, I've really enjoyed this, but I kind of see us being more friends. And he said, I already have friends, so I don't want to talk to you anymore. But that was still like a net positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I can't imagine thinking I see a future with this person after one day ever.
Yeah. Or just like wanting to see them again. Like that was like
wanting to see them again and figure out if it's a friend vibe or not. Just having a decent time. We had good conversations. This person's kind of funny. They also think I'm funny. Like we're engaging with each other. Mm-hmm. That's a good date.
Yeah. That was, well, and I think that is a good thing to learn that makes you a good dater. If the only expectation you have is, am I going to have a good time with this person? Because then it takes the stress off of like, do they like me? Will I like them? Are we going to get married? Are we going to hate each other? Like, is this, it takes like the intensity out of a situation. Like dating should be fun. Like you should just have a fun time meeting people. And I feel like Austin is a good city for that. Like I didn't go on that many like bad dates here.
Yeah.
I've gone on some bad dates.
My best bad date started when the guy was very late and then he knew the waitress and there was a weird like, they're like, oh yeah, I remember Jessica. Like they were talking about this weird kind of a racist thing that my date did. And I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm interested in continuing this dinner. And he was like, you know what? We probably both still need to eat, like might as well. And he still paid for dinner and we just had a meal together and we both knew that it wasn't going to go anywhere and we just ate.
That's only something that would happen to you.
I was going to say that would happen to you.
I'd be like, bye, gotta go.
And I would say, here's the reasons why I don't like you and I'm leaving.
Well,
and then I would get McDonald's on my way home.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was before we ordered too. So I was like, I don't think we should eat together. I don't think that this is going very well. And he was like, well, I'm going to eat. And I was like, okay, I guess you could pay for my meal.
That is so weird. I would not have stayed and had a meal with that person.
No.
That's a Baily TBM.
Yeah.
Total Baily
Baily move.
Okay, the last thing that I think is something that I've learned just like from, you know, dating and hearing my friends talk about dating as well is like not having any expectations of this person early on. Like just like letting them show you who they are instead of expecting them to be a certain way and then getting mad when they fall short of that. Just have your standards set to like where they need to be, have your boundaries set to where they need to be. And if that person repeatedly falls short of that, then just move on from that person. Like instead of having to be like, well, let me tell you how to be a good person and a good person for me to date, just letting those expectations go.
Yeah. It sounds exhausting to try to tell someone why you did or didn't like something that they did or what you would like them to do next time.
Yeah,
if it's just repeated, then what are you getting out of it?
Well, it reminds me of, remember that country singer I went on a date with? I went on like, it was 5 dates, which is like way more dates than
kind of a lot.
I know, but it was like only like a few weeks. So it wasn't that much, but like.
But when you're used to just kind of first dates,
yeah,
maybe
one or
two,
maybe two.
You had consecutive.
Yeah. So then the tea with this guy is that we had a date planned at his house and he lived in Georgetown, which like I was new to Austin. I didn't realize how far Georgetown really was. And he was like, it's like 20 minutes away. It wasn't. It took me over an hour to get there.
Yeah.
Maybe 20 minutes from the city line, not from... That's crazy.
I know. So it was like already like he also like kind of made like little lies, which triggered me because Mark would always do little lies that added up to be like, oh, I'm an addict. So I was already like stressed about like being late for this date and like him kind of lying about 20 minutes because like I like looked at I don't know. Anyways, I get there and he just like had a bunch of like little lies about people that like exes and stuff where it was like, yeah, I beat his ass. And it was like, you beat his ass? And he was like, no, but like, you know, like stuff like that where I'm like, why do you even think that that's like funny to say? Like it's not.
Yeah.
And then he like was trying to sell me on the town of Georgetown. And I'm like, we just met and I would never live here.
But you want to know, everyone who lives in Georgetown and Round Rock try to sell Austin people on Georgetown and Round
like,
Rock.
I don't want to live here.
Defensive about it.
It's like they feel insecure or like they have FOMO because they don't live in Austin. So they want to tell you just how great Georgetown and Round Rock are. And it's like, if you're happy, I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
But it's never going to be me.
Yeah. Like, and no offense, like you do you in Georgetown, but stop trying to like make Georgetown happen. It actually makes me want to go the opposite way and like hate Georgetown
and never even drive through Georgetown.
Right. Like I go around Georgetown now to get to Dallas because of him. But then, okay, so we have this like really awkward interaction where it ends up like him yelling at me. And I was like, okay, I gotta go. And he was like, well, you like basically ruined the night. And I was like, me or you? Because you are psychotic. He was an Aries. Makes sense. And so I left and we actually had plans for a date the next day.
That's wild to book.
Or it was like 2 days later. But like it was like a show we were going to go to that he already had tickets for. And I feel like old me would have been like, oh, I'm going to give him another chance. We've already been on 5 dates. Like
it's that same kind of obligation where since you had something planned, you feel guilty to not go, even though something
major
happened.
red flag. Yeah. But I think because I was like older and like wiser and I'd been through the stuff I went through with Mark and Colorado, where it's like, oh, maybe when someone shows you who they are, just like listen to them. And I was like, we're done. Like, this is not going to happen again. Actually, I kind of like ghosted him and he ghosted me right back. Like it was a mutual ghost, thank God. But I feel like, and I knew I wasn't going to go on this date though. But I think that is, where did I get? Was I spurring off of your thing that you said?
No, this was your last point.
This was your story.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Well, so what you had said was that you were trying to... I think you started it by the expectations thing, not having expectations. And then you said like this singer I dated, and we had this bad date.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, like the expectation was...
don't yell at me.
Yeah, like I'm not going to deal with people. My standard was I don't want to deal with people who yell at me, especially that
pretty
early
good standard
on.
to have.
Yeah.
Like I think that everyone's going to lose their temper at one time or another.
So also it's kind of how you lose your temper.
It's how you,
and I was not into that.
But if somebody eventually, they raise their voice, as long as it's not getting physical, it's like, I'm so sorry that I had this immediate anger is what Kevin told me. It is the hardest reaction to change, right?
Yeah.
Because it is such a immediate reaction. And so you can think about it even right after you do it, and you can say, I'm so sorry, I lost my temper, I raised my voice, I apologize. And eventually you can learn that behavior, right? So it's not necessarily the yelling ever. You're gonna lose your cool sometimes, but in what world would you lose your cool that fast?
Well, for me, a yelling is a hard no. I just do not, if somebody's going to lose their temper and that's how they react, that's a no for me. And that's like the boundary. So I was like, I don't care if we just met or if we dated for a year, like I'm not doing yelling ever again. So that was my hard no. And it was,
but like, what even happened for him to have this? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, what could have possibly happened?
Why are you being so vague?
because
I'm
it was
intrigued.
like, it was personal.
Okay.
Oh, she's shy now.
Now I'm shy.
Did this guy have a dog?
Yes. And remember, he was like weird with his dog too. And he like locked his dog in the room. And then he pretended like he didn't know that he locked his dog in the room when he was showing me around the house. And I was like, wait, the dog's in there. And he was like, oh, I fucking hate this dog. I was like, oh my God. So like, I don't know. There was just those red flags. And so my expectations, like if I had expectations of like, oh, this person isn't going to yell at me and like, they're going to treat me like amazing and blah, 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 blah. And then he fell short. Then I feel like when you have expectations of that, then it's like, wait, no, I need to teach you how to be a good person instead of like keeping your boundaries and keeping your standards and like realizing, oh, this person does things that is not something that is attractive to me in a human. So move on.
Yeah. And whether they're yelling or not, again, so within 5 dates and they're getting that mad. It doesn't matter how even if they're silently or quietly expressing to you why they're so mad at you. What did I do in 5 dates that made you this angry? That's not the person I want to be with either.
Yeah. And I can be like so annoying. So like if you
Within
can't handle
5
that,
dates,
Paige, I'm annoying like right when you meet me. So if you can't handle it, but there's like honestly nothing that Mr. Roberts has done in the almost 2 years of knowing him to make me like so angry with him where I want to yell. Like, and I think vice versa. Like he's maybe been like, stop, like that's enough. Like you're being very annoying. But like that's like, and honestly, I kind of deserved it because I was being so annoying.
right?
But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. Okay, well, do you want to give a book club update?
I do. What is this book called?
Wait, hold on. Look.
Oh my God. That's raunchy.
That is like
I'm so happy for
they're
them.
in
It looks like an engagement picture with the way her hand is. Like that should have a ring on it.
I gotta do that.
I love that.
Literally.
Okay, so I finished Ugly Love. I really, really liked it.
Wow.
Well, it wasn't okay.
So Coho redeemed herself for you.
Yes, and when I say I really liked it, it wasn't as good as Seven Husbands, but it was a good book because it was an easy read, and at the end of the book, all of the pieces fell together in the way that you wanted them to, and it ended with a perfect bow.
Okay.
Right? So it was a satisfying, and I liked that because, the last Colleen Hoover was just awful, and I hated the ending, and I regretted everything. Anyways, so the next book is None of This Is True.
Okay.
I was going to start a different one, but Smacky insisted that I read this one next because she said there's a character in this book that she hates that she knows I'm going to hate just as much. And she said, I need somebody to talk shit about this character with. So I said, okay. So we'll start this.
Okay, so
probably
none of
tonight.
this is true. Okay,
I've
so
read a Lisa Jewell book before. I wonder if it's on our bookshelf.
can we talk a little bit more about, what was it, Ugly Love?
Ugly Love.
Can you give me like a brief premise without any spoilers? I feel like that's gonna be hard for you.
Basically, this.
Like, sell it to the sisters.
Okay, so this girl, you know, she actually, this would be something interesting. Okay, so she is falling for this guy, but he has said from the beginning, I don't want a relationship. If you can do fuck buddies, basically, that's all I can give. And she thinks that this guy is the hottest thing, so she's like, absolutely, I just want fuck buddies too.
Tale as old as time.
Yeah, exactly.
I can see where this is going.
Exactly. And throughout the book, we're learning why you can tell he cares about her so deeply, but he pulls himself away and he's like, I just can't. So you're learning why he can't, what his demons are. But I feel like so many girls get in this situation and it doesn't end up in a pretty little bow for them, because a lot of the times the guy's like, I was honest with you from the beginning. I only want to be fuck buddies, and now you caught feelings. Yeah. So luckily, they both caught feelings, and they had to work out how they were gonna make it real. You know, like whatever. It's not always pretty, because love isn't always pretty. It's ugly. Love is ugly, right? So, you know, things they figure it out.
Can I ask a question? A coho question?
Yeah.
What were their professions?
Jade, thank you so much for asking. Thank you. So, first of all, the girl is the younger sister. She has an older brother.
Okay. Standard for coho.
Okay. I'll tell you about she is...
Oh, yes. Is the older brother so fun and handsome?
Jade, just wait. Let me tell you her. She is a nurse. She's an RN, but she's going back to... I'm sorry, nurses. She's going back to school, like, to get her master's so she can be the type of nurse that can do anesthesia.
Oh, okay. Wait,
So-
this is very relevant to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She's a nurse and anesthetic.
Like, she wants to be... She's an RN, but she wants to be like a CRN. Something like that.
She's Anne Marie for all you Real Housewives of Beverly Hills
But
girls.
so what we're supposed to think about her is that she's gorgeous, right? She's
Stunning,
gorgeous,
of
and
course.
she's so smart, and she's working this job and going to school because, you know, she's such a good, like, she's perfect. Okay,
She's got her whole life ahead of her. She's about to make a ton of money being a nurse of anesthesiology.
Okay, so her brother, her dad, and all of her brother's friends, pilots.
Of course.
They're all pilots.
That is so coho.
They're all pilots.
Are they all so good looking?
And they're all so good looking.
So they're like Top Gun.
And that's what I
That's what you have
that's what I
pictured?
am picturing.
She's like, they walk in and they have their Ray-Ban aviators and their shirts are off from playing volleyball and the sweat is dripping off their pecs.
Well, I will say what was a little I'm not that into the smut. I like the romance, and I don't know, too much is like, I'm not trying to read a porno, right?
Yeah, and smut to me doesn't really like get me going. It makes me like want to poke holes. I'm like, this isn't true.
Yeah.
Well, and so what I thought was even weirder is the first two sexual experiences they had in this book.
Mind-blowing.
It probably lasted like 20 pages just explaining, and I'm like, relax. Cool down with some water. Like, you need to relax. And then it was weird because then it was like, and then we did it again. And then that's when he took off my shirt and the rest was history. And I'm like, okay, so now you gave us too much and now you're giving me nothing. Like, you could find like a happy medium.
And coho's characters have so much sexual stamina. Like, they're
So
always
much.
boning.
Well, and this guy, he's like, hadn't had sex in like 6 years or something. And
of
so,
course, he broke his sex streak with her. The
yeah,
hot
with
nurse.
her. And so he didn't last very long the first time, and but he's like, give me a couple seconds, we'll go again. And then, but that's the thing. So then they go again, and that's the one that lasts forever. I'm like, girl, relax. Like, we get it. Like, I'm reading this, and I'm right there. I get what's happening. You don't have to describe. And she's like, and the V, I could see the. She talked about the V that guy. She was obsessed with this V, and I'm like, okay, he works out, we get it.
You're like, we get it. What does he do?
He's a pilot.
Oh, he's a pilot too?
Yeah, he's a pilot.
Just like her dad and brother. Of course. That is
And how convenient, because he had nowhere to go for Thanksgiving. So before she just had a crush on him, and the brother didn't even run it by her. He's like, hey, he just like jumps in the car. He's like, he's gonna be at Thanksgiving with us.
And she's probably
And
like,
that's
oh,
when
no.
And that's when they
Impossible.
decide to have their first little makeout in the kitchen of her parents' house, and the dad like walks in, and they're like aggressively making out after she drinks some orange juice. And I don't know, it was like a weird. He's like, I love the taste of orange juice on. It was so weird.
Ew. Okay. Well, wait.
But anyways, besides that,
You liked it? What would you rate it for?
So I rated it a I think a 6.5
out of 10?
out of 10.
Would you rate?
10 out of 10?
Oh, okay.
Seven Husbands was a really good story, a really great. It kept you on your toes. It was
written
emotional.
well.
It was written so well. This was an easy read. It was obviously unbelievable. Like, okay, everyone's hot and successful, and like just having so much sex, and just like everything like always works out for them.
Yeah.
Like, okay, whatever. But I liked that it came full circle. It was like a whatever. So
Cute.
hopefully we'll see what this is.
Well, Lisa Jewell, give us your best.
Yeah, Smacky, she liked it a lot.
Okay. I feel like I've heard people say none of this is true is good.
Well, hopefully that's true.
Yeah. Well, anything else, girly pops?
I got nothing.
Okay. Well, do you want to say bye to the sisters?
Oh my gosh, guys, thank you so much for listening. It's time for us to go, but we're really glad you were here with us. And I would also like it if you would follow us on Instagram at yourpoordadpod. And you could email us, yourpoordad@gmail.com. You can follow us on TikTok, yourpoordadpod. You could leave us a 5-star review and make a little comment about your favorite thing about us. Maybe your favorite thing about me. It was my birthday this week. And that's that.
That's
Okay.
that.
Bye now.
Bye. Bye.